what was I thinking? And I thought I was killing it. That's the funny part. It's all about evolution. If I was always so stylish, there would be no room to grow. I just love different eras, different fun moments. This one's humiliating, but do you, baby girl.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Bro Zay here, and I'm back with a new video. Today, we're going to be doing analyzing the eras of Kim Kardashian. We're going to talk about her eras from pre-fame and to now. Before watching this video, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and share. Alright, y'all, let's get to the video.
I love people. It's not the fashion. It's the people in fashion I love.
Welcome to analyzing the era of Kim Kardashian. Now, Kim Kardashian's style has evolved significantly over the years, reflecting changes in her personal life, career, and cultural influence. And we just want to talk about a style evolution of Kim Kardashian. So, just to give you a bit of a background on who Kim Kardashian is, Kim Kardashian is known as an American media personality / socialite who is now turned businesswoman. Kim Kardashian was born in Los Angeles, California, October 21st, 1980. Now, let's talk about pre-fame Kim Kardashian. She became a household name. Kim Kardashian had an eye for trends and just adapting to them as well. Growing up in Los Angeles, she had a lot of access and was around a lot of well-known rich families. And she always liked to dress in her 90s era. She kind of just adapted the style from like the skinny eyebrows that a lot of people used to wear, baggy jeans, dark lipstick, shorter hair, just very 90s. She would adapt to that style a lot. Yeah, so that was before the fame and before she even got into the spotlight. So now let's talk about the early 2000s era. So that will be showcased from 2003 to 2006, right before she got the show Keeping Up with the Kardashians. During this era, I would definitely say Kim Kardashian initially embraced more so a casual, a little bit glamorous, not too much style with a focus on body hugging dresses and outfits. She often wore low-rise jeans, statement accessories, and channeling, the regular / cliche 2000s celebrity style. It was kind of on brand and on trend. Also, to give you a more background, during this time, she was a personal stylist to Ray J, who eventually she started dating during this time.
Into styling because my best friend is Brandy, and we'd always shop together. She'd always ask me to be, oh, you have to help me out, be my stylist. And I'd never assisted a stylist before. I never went to school for it. I never, really knew what the job really entailed. So I just kind of blew it off, and we'd always shop together. And one day she called me and was like, will you be my stylist? And I said, sure. She'd always said it. I thought she was kidding. And the next day, her record company called me and hired me. And like a week later, we left for a 3-week promotional tour in Europe. And I had to dress her and her dancers. And I was like freaked out. And she was amazing. And she was like, don't worry, I'll walk you through the whole thing. We'll shop together. She walked me through the whole process.
And she also later, during this era, she was working with Paris Hilton, where she was kind of like a multitude of things, I would say. Sometimes they said she was assistant, closet organizer, etc., then turned friend. Often stepping out, they would wear coordinating outfits, oversized sunglasses, and, rock their matching Louis Vuitton purses. Also during this era is also to note that Kim opened up a fashion boutique in Calabasas, California called Dash, which she eventually did 3 locations, one in Los Angeles, one in New York, and one in Miami. And then unfortunately in 2016, the New York location was closed, and by 2018, the 2 remaining locations were closed. And here's some looks that I wanted to kind of touch on. Not too many, but I feel like it was cool for her. Her eye in the fashion, not taking it too serious, but it wasn't as what she's known for now. But some looks I definitely like was in 2005 where she wore Dolce & Gabbana. I also liked when she wore this gray sweater over a long sleeve white top with a black belt and matching knee-high boots. And I like that because it was kind of just on trend of who she was and her original style. It was kind of like 2006 basic, but it was on trend and it was what they wore back in the day. Also, I like this tan color blouse with light blue jeans and over the knee nude color boots with a matching purse, or when she wore this pink Juicy Couture jumpsuit, which Juicy Couture was definitely on trend back in that during that time, laying across her white Range Rover. So we gotta give her credit for that. So let's go to the next era. I mean, the first era was pretty short because she was kind of breaking into who she was, but I think this era was kind of like deemed as like nostalgic of Kim Kardashian's, and this is from 2007 to 2010. So this was kind of like a trendsetter phase for her because she was gaining so much attention so fast. Her style was kind of maturing, and she was kind of experimenting with more designer pieces and bold prints. She also mixed like a lot of like high-end fashion with like street style a little bit. And this period marked the rise of like kind of her signature style and people known for her body, and she kind of leaned into her glam on-screen persona by dressing almost in exclusively clingy and curvy hugging party looks / outfits. Her hit TV show Keeping Up with the Kardashians alongside her family kicked off, and this spin-offs such as Kim and Kourtney Take New York, Kourtney and Kim Take Miami, Chloe and Kourtney Take Miami, other shows with the Jenners and, Black China and Rob, and just things like that. And the series concluded in 2021, but they end up picking up a deal with Hulu, where they have a show on Hulu currently, which is kind of like a sequel to Keeping Up with the Kardashians that was originally on E! But some also things I want to talk about during this era that's kind of like fashion related that she was kind of doing was, again, she did Playboy, the December issue. That's kind of like deemed as a big magazine for models and, new models to get into, kind of like the previous era. But she was more so trying to advance her career in acting and doing other shows. So, but she still had that fashion influence as well.
What is your infatuation?
I'm infatuated with really cozy and comfy robes. I have to wear one at all times when I'm at home.
So in September 2009, she did Fashion Beauty for the makeup line. She became the face for them. And she was also, during this time, she was a cover on Cosmopolitan. And this was all happening in like 2009. But in 2010, she ventured into more endorsement deals. She was on Allure magazine, W magazine, again, Cosmopolitan, and various fitness magazines as well. So let's get into the looks during this era. When she wore this charcoal colored dress with Into the Power of African dinner in NYC in December 2008. Also when she wore this aqua colored cape sleeve blouse with this leather pants, Christian Louboutin pumps to the Victoria's Secret fashion show. Then she was in this white fitted dress, black lace gloves, gray floppy hat at the Kentucky Derby. That was kind of on brand, but I feel like that was cool. Like, I feel like it was an era, and I feel like some people will actually wear that nowadays. I'm not going to lie. Lastly, I would say when she modeled a Kaufman Franco floor-length gown at the Grammy Awards, high fashion / minimalism era, and this was from 2011 to 2014. Now, this era, I think, when Kim was really kind of like solidified because of her growing brand, but also she had a relationship with a well-known rapper who is known as Kanye West, aka Ye West. So let's break it down. So this is going to be longer than the previous ones because I feel like a lot happened during this era. She got pregnant and she just became kind of like a star in a bit. So just to explain it, Kim's style took a turn towards more of a high fashion, collaborating with designers like Givenchy and Balmain, and we'll talk more about that. She began favoring a more minimalistic aesthetic, often opting for a monochrome look, structured silhouettes, and luxe fabric. And this era kind of solidified her as a fashion kind of statement in the industry, kind of like the new it girl, especially with her appearances at major fashion events. Her love of couture, mixing dramatic and simple, kind of continued. So let's break it down. So in 2011, she kind of was getting in her bag, operating in more of like the releasing fragrances. Also in 2011, she appeared in different magazines like Glamour, Harper's Bazaar, ID, Marie Claire's. and so on and so on. So she was becoming the cover girl. She also released the Kardashian collection along with her sisters and Sears, and it was also available in more than 200 Dorothy Perkins stores in the UK, and it was sold internationally to 11 other countries, such from the Middle East to Asia. So she was really stepping into her fashion bag because a lot of people were looking up to her and her sisters at this time.
Love your jacket. Oh, I love your necklace. What?
Guys, there you are.
Ooh, hot to trust.
I love the leopard print.
I love that purse.
Who has the camera?
I do.
Pose pretty. Gorgeous award.
Attention, Sears will be closing in 50.
Introducing the Kardashian collection, only at Sears.
Also a notable moment, like I said previous, she was dating Kanye West, and during that time, which we'll talk about him in another video, because he's kind of like a fashion icon in his own, he kind of influenced her this era up until, I would say, now.
Kanye is coming over today with his stylist, and he's giving me a full clothing makeover.
Hi, how are you? Hi. I'm so nervous. Did you look through my stuff?
No, not yet.
You haven't even seen my closet?
Not yet.
Kanye's definitely inspired me to want to be a little bit more of an individual. I think my style's just evolving and changing, and I think it should, because that's, what life is about.
Also, he introduced her to designers, like I said earlier, like Lanvin, Balmain, Givenchy, and giving her a real taste of high-end designers. I think people looked at her as more the socialite, doing a little modeling and stuff, but she's not really into fashion. But he kind of put her on the map for that, and we have to give it up to him. So in 2012, along with dating him, she also was in different magazines, kind of on another level, from New York Magazine to L'Uomo Vogue and Glamour Magazine and V Magazine. And the relation continued in 2013, where they kind of brand themselves as a fashion couple, her and Ye. And they appeared in a plethora of things like the French magazine like Les Officiels Hommes in February 2013. He also took her to the Met Gala in 2013, where she wore this floral gown that sparked a lot of memes and controversy. But I feel like it was kind of whack because she was pregnant at this time, so why are y'all being rude to a pregnant lady? I think that's kind of whack. That's kind of weird, but back then it was a little ruthless. She also got the chance to be on the CR Fashion magazine, which was kind of a huge deal, and she noticed her impact. So then we go to 2014, where she was officially married to Kanye, had a baby, and was more successful than ever. She appeared in Vogue, which was her dream of hers. She started to do partnerships with Balmain for red carpets and Givenchy. She then took a controversial step by appearing on the cover in a pictorial and Paper's winter magazine issue. She kind of was a little new, and it's called Break the Internet, and that caused so much controversy at that time. It was kind of crazy, though. I don't get why. I mean, now you look at it today, you're like, that's nothing. But again, I guess 10 years ago, exactly, was kind of a lot. Also in 2014, again, she got married. So the wedding gown was designed by Givenchy. So he personally did that for her because he had such a good relationship with Kanye West and, was developing a great relationship with Kim. In 2015, Kim noticed her impact. So she decided to release a portfolio book called Selfish. And it was a 325-page collection of self-taken photos of her in 2015. And it received positive reviews with people were kind of moved by it. And I was like, shout out to her, because one thing I think that you can't take away from Kim Kardashian is she knows how to capitalize off of things. And I feel like we all can take away that. Capitalize off of what's going on, whether it's positive or negative. Also in that year, she was on the cover for the August issue of Vogue Spain, Brazil, Australia, and she did Rolling Stone. So let's also talk about some looks during this era. So we're going to, again, start from 2011 and go to 2015. Where one thing I can appreciate about Kim, she kind of, every year you could tell how she dressed. And I kind of like that because she kind of identified her style as a celebrity. But in 2012, when she wore full Kanye West, I feel like this was probably one of my favorite looks she ever did. I just think everything about this was good. The hair, the makeup, the fur, like the outfit, like she got this right. Like I feel like this was her first fashion look. To me, I feel like this was her first one. Some other ones, notable ones, when she in Hawaii, and she wore this low-cut tank top with a high-waisted pencil skirt paired with Kanye West Giuseppe Zanotti heels. You know, those was like big back then. Like if you didn't have them, you wasn't one of them ones. Also, when she wore this long white dress at the BET Awards, I even remember that to this day because that front row was kind of like, it had Beyonce, Jay-Z, Solange, Nicki Minaj, her, yay, like, I remember that. So that was kind of notable in 2012. Also, when she wore this blue Antonio Berardi gown with beading along with the chest at the Clive Davis party. I like that. Also, when she wore this white lace crop top and coordinating pencil skirt at her 33rd birthday in 2013. When she walked the red carpet in this pink latex dress to promote her fragrance Fleur in Australia. Latex was definitely big during that time, and I've seen a lot of girls kind of replicate that. But it's also to say Kim did get her style and trends, I guess, from Kanye, but she was influenced by some of the Instagram girl baddies at this time too, the original ones. And then when she wore with her second child, when she was pregnant with Saint, I like she kind of wore a black gown with sheer lace elements. So she was kind of exposing herself while pregnant. She did cover up, but she also had some exposing moments as well, which I appreciated because, you know, I like when pregnant women don't have to feel like they have to cover up, you know, showcase that belly. It's a beautiful thing to be pregnant. Also, when she wore at the first Adidas fashion shows in 2015, she kind of wore Roberto Cavalli mermaid gown at the Met Gala. I thought that was amazing. I feel like this was probably her best Met Gala look still to this day, or top 3. And let's go into the next era. So during this time, between 2016 and 2019, her looks became more avant-garde, incorporating, you know, elements of boldness, accessories, and statement pieces. She began to experiment more during this era. I feel like, which it kind of included like futuristic and sculptural designs. She was on various magazine covers during this time.
That bag, that whole Australia trip. I love this look. I do not like this look. I loved this look. We were trying to figure out what I should wear, and I said, just trust me, can I have the all lace thing? I want to show my belly. No. Obsessed. In 2017, I feel like her style started to really elevate as a fashion girl. So in 2017, she kind of launched the long-awaited venture into beauty with her KKW line, which featured products very like lip contour kits, lipstick, and in 2020 the brand was valued at $1 billion. She also was in various magazines from Interview to Vogue. She also took home the Influencer Award by CFDA, which was pretty big.
Kind of shocked that I'm winning a fashion award when I'm naked most of the time, but this is seriously such an honor. So thank you to the CFDA for this award. I mean, it was maybe 7 years ago when I had a publicist, and she asked what was my goals, what were my dreams, and I said, I just want to be on the cover of a fashion magazine. And she said to me, let's get some realistic goals, because that'll never happen. And so, of course, I sent her my Vogue cover when it came out, an autographed copy. So it's really a trip to me that now I'm up here getting an award for fashion.
I also have to talk about, you know, the era of braids. Now, Kim Kardashian, you know, she had 2 black children at the time of Kanye. She was married to Kanye West. So, you know, I felt like she felt comfortable wearing braids. From her, she addressed it as Boderic braids or boxer braids. But we all know the origin of braids, and, you know, it being very big in the Black community for centuries, and it's a part of our culture because I'm Black as well. So she stated like maybe if I and like that inspiration, she didn't want to disrespect nobody's culture and where she originally sourced it from. But also that's, a huge problem because, non-black people tend to get trends from other non-black people, which are mostly stolen from black people, kind of like source it as this being the inspiration when it's not the inspiration from a non-black person. It's really inspiration from a black person. And they have to understand the cultural impact that it has. One example when it comes to hair is Daryl George. He's currently fighting a case right now regarding his hair. He's a young Black student who has locks. He has been serving a school suspension for his hair and spending time in an off-site disciplinary program because of his hair. It's totally wrong because it's a freedom of expression, but it's also a part of our culture. Like, why can't he wear locks? The reason why a lot of people take offense to non-black people wearing black hairstyles is because, again, we don't have the freedom to wear certain hairstyles because we get discriminated against or we get reprimanded, and we have hair discrimination cases come up, and the boy still hasn't been re-enrolled into school because of his hair and him not giving up. And I commend him for standing on something and continuously fighting. People need to be a little bit more understanding when it comes to Black people and our frustration in regards to telling other people they shouldn't be wearing certain hairstyles, because we get unfortunately prosecuted and harassed and discriminated against because of our hairstyles. But when you have someone like a Kim Kardashian or a non-black person rocking these hairstyles, it's seen as a trend and it's celebrated and it's more so accepted. And I don't think she has wore braids since this era, or at least she learned, because you have a Black daughter now, a Black son at this point, so you have to know like how cultural insensitive it is. And also, we do have to blame Kanye West because, you should have told Kim, like, this is not it. You definitely shouldn't be doing this. But, hey. But let's go into 2019. So, Kim kind of like rebranded, in a way, shapewear to name it Skims. She launched Skims. And shortly after, she made it available via to multiple retail websites. She had her own website, of course, but she kind of made it available to other ones, kind of like Nordstrom, etc., etc. And the brand has been recognized for its inclusive sizing in different shades to variety women's apparel, menswear, unisex clothing, and site launches. Shout out to Kim for that, I do feel like she was influenced by Rihanna and kind of did her thing with that. And just to give you some foreshadowing of the company, because, whatever Kim does, it kind of blows up.
To not only innovate with our products, but also with our mission of inclusivity. We have put a strong emphasis since our launch on continuing to shape the industry to embrace size equality and diversity as a fixture, not just a trend.
Just to give some foreshadowing, in February 2020, Skims entered its first retail partnership with luxury store chain Nordstrom's. And in 2021, she opened up various pop-up stores in the United States, Europe, and Asia. And she even kind of like was under a deal where it provided U.S. branded athleisure to the U.S. Olympic team's female athletes in 2021, Olympics and Paralympics, and this partnership continued in 2022 Winter Olympics and a capsule collection release in celebration with the U.S. Winter Olympics. And in 2021, Skims and luxury fashion house Fendi released a collaborative range of shapewear, leather dresses, and bodysuits. And in 2023, it became the official underwear partner of the NBA, WNBA, and U.S. basketball. July 2023, it was reported that the company stood at a valuation of $4 billion. But back to the chronological timeline, in 2019, she also scored her solo cover of American Vogue. Some other big things that happened in 2019 was she made her Met Gala look wearing a wet look Terry Mugler dress that marked the designer's first creation in 20 years.
by Mr. Pearl, the legendary corset maker, because I wanted to completely accentuate my body to make it as campy as possible. It's the weirdest feeling. It doesn't hurt, but it feels like you're doing a crunch, but you can't get out of it. And then you literally can't breathe.
And it kind of like represents, she had a really good fashion connection with a lot of big designers. She had a really great connection with them, outside of our mom, Givenchy, and other things. She was kind of like going into her bag a little bit. So here's some looks that I liked during this era from 2016 and 2019. She wore a low-cut top with a distressed denim miniskirt and a floor-length colored tan coat while in NYC. So she was in her streetwear bag. I loved when she wore this Balenciaga off-the-shoulder trench coat and thigh-high boots during Paris Fashion Week in October 2016. She was photographed in a low-cut sheer overlay and diamond choker while out in Miami in September 2016. She also was dressed in this off-shoulder semi-sheer mini dress at the MTV Music Awards in 2016. Then in 2017, I liked when she wore this Balmain look. Then she attended the Met Gala Heavenly Bodies fashion cast and fitted gold Versace gown in 2018. So I would definitely say the Mugler 2015 moment, and this one was like top 3 for me. And then in 2018, during that era, she had the neon green hair that matched her Lamborghini. People loved that. That was kind of like, oh my God. So now in 2019, some memorable looks I liked was she wore this Burberry denim look with the blue boots. That was really dope. And this Alaya look that I really liked as well. Then she modeled a blue ensemble when at the Louis Vuitton menswear. And then she wore this vintage Terry Mugler look in 2019. And then wearing this archival Versace number at the 2019 People's Choice Awards. Now let's get into this next era, because this is where they're kind of name it the Designing Darling. And I'll say this is from 2020 on now. And I think she's now in her, it's only designer and customs I think she's kind of into right now, or putting rare vintage archival pieces. I would definitely say she kind of leaned into a more polished, sophisticated look. And now she's kind of like in her 40s. Her wardrobe features, neutral tones, kind of like form-fitting silhouettes, minimalist designs, highlighting her evolution, and just kind of redefining her aesthetic. During this time, she's working with huge brands and being ambassadors, but also the connections she has is crazy at this time.
I have so much stuff and I've had so many different fashion eras. I love seeing all this stuff, so I just want to see kind of where I've been and where I want to go.
That's like the biggest flex ever, just archive from my own warehouse.
And I just want to wear sweats.
Some notable looks in this era from now, because it's a lot, I would definitely say. 2021, when she wore this hot pink catsuit at her SNL debut.
Kardashian West, and it's so great to be here tonight. I know. I'm surprised to see me here too.
She was kind of like in her, bag. She's kind of redoing her fashion looks for herself, and she's also was separating from Kanye during this time. So she was kind of find out who she was as a fashion person outside of Kanye and outside of like her creative directors and stylists and various stylists she had throughout her career. She was also in her business bag and was one of the most influential beings on earth at this time. During this time, she became the face of Balenciaga, but she did face a kind of backlash because Balenciaga did have this controversial campaign that went on where she kind of like pulled out and stepped away for a little bit. In July in 2022, she made her Paris Fashion Week modeling debut, walking for Balenciaga. Also in 2022, she teamed up with Dolce & Gabbana in a vintage-inspired capsule collection called Ciao, It's Kim. And it was influenced by fashion archival pieces and was kind of retrospective of the years 1987 to 2007.
Years with Domenico and Stefano, and I think over the summer, when I was at my sister's wedding, they saw all of the looks that I pulled. I have a really big Dolce & Gabbana archive. So when they saw a lot of the looks that I had, they were asking me questions like, where did I get it? And you know, how I styled it this way. And we just started having these conversations about their archives.
Even though they had the Balenciaga controversy and she was going through a divorce, she still was kind of finding her own way, her own path. So in 2023, moving in the next year, she was to running her businesses. So she was kind of like in that and just being a mother to her. But at this time, she had 4 kids. So she had a lot on her plate and doing her show on Hulu called The Kardashians as well. Some looks, she went to attend the Americans Fashion Celebrities event wearing a black halter top gown by Chrome Hearts. I also like when she wore this look when she celebrated her birthday. She wore this very hot Balenciaga gown. This slinky Balenciaga gown with cutouts and bows. And in 2024, stepping away the first time, she kind of went back to being an official Balenciaga ambassador. So throughout her journey, Kim was not only transferring her wardrobe, but also kind of influencing fashion trends herself and showcasing her ability to adapt to before, but also being in the position to set new standards in the industry for some. And for, you know, the locals as well. And I also mentioned some looks, but I want to talk about some more looks that I liked. 2020, she in this Balmain look, and I think it was kind of like latex, her and Courtney. I really loved that look. She also wore this transparent latex at the CFDA Awards by Dolce & Gabbana. So another look I liked was when she wore the Marilyn Monroe Met Gala look. But not that look per se, but the look she wore at the after party. And she was wearing this glittery green Norman Norell gown that was worn by her Marilyn Monroe at the 1962 Golden Globes. I felt like that looked so much better on her, and it didn't wash her out a little bit. She kind of popped a little bit more here. So I like this one better than the one she wore at the Met Gala. Also, I like when she was heading out in Paris, she wore this easy Python boots and vintage Versace sunglasses and this all leather look, toting her Hermes bag. Yeah, so I really liked that one. And I also like when she wore this Balenciaga tape. Now I feel like it was a moment because I saw a lot of people in a certain community wearing this. I also like when she wore this Terry Mugler latex look, where last ones I liked was when she stunned in the silver Maison Margiela corset dress at the 2024 Met Gala. A lot of people didn't like the look, but I liked it. I think it looked good. And then also when she wore this cutout design at the Maison Margiela Haute Couture Summer 2025 show in Paris. But I will definitely say for Kim to be the socialite to now become one of the biggest names in fashion, with partnerships, her own shape-shifting wear and things like that, we have to give her credit for that, because a lot of people said she was talentless and couldn't dress, but now she's one of the biggest fashion influencers in the game. So I can't wait to see what Kim does more and continues to do. And yeah, shout out to Kim Kardashian. I can't wait to see what Kim does more and continues to do. And yeah, shout out to Kim Kardashian. Now guys, thank you guys for watching. I hope you liked the analyzing the era. I really didn't show my face as much because I wanted to, I wanted to try something new. Tell me what y'all think below. Should I do it this way or should I go back to showing my face? Again, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll see y'all in my next one. Peace.
Trying to figure out who am I in the fashion world, or who am I by myself? I was always like the Kardashians with my sisters. And then I was like Kim Ye. Who is Kim K? That is the jump. How do I get there without Kanye? When I filed for divorce, it's been 10 months now. And I am finally just stepping out, being I can do this.